Hey guys, Harry here, and we're back again with another Bricklaying vlog finally. It's part 2 of the square forklift. That's what I call this. We're doing this square and this forklift up anyway. This is the first plot we took over on this site anyway. Yeah, it's probably one of the easier ones I've ever built actually. Just the fact that it's square and just doesn't have tons and tons of different types of gearing, you know, because when I was working at Red Row we had a lot of part rendered houses, and that's a ball ache getting a different type of gear up all the time. It's just, you know, it's just nice having something simple and that, you know, you don't have to head scratch to build. No funny wall plate heights, just 2 strips of wall plate and boom, roof goes on, cable up each side, easy. So I've been away for a couple of days. I went skeggy again. It's holiday season, we always go every year more or less. So yeah, just not been uploading too much. I've only been doing 3-day weeks effectively 3.5-day weeks for the last couple of weeks, so very limited time I can film when I've just not got my head down cracking on. But yeah, this is how I do soldiers. I mentioned last video I was going to film this. I was a little bit rusty out of practice doing soldiers. I think it'd been since I did this many soldiers in one go. Probably I hadn't done this for like 4 years. Or no, probably about 4 years, because I was building square boxes with no detail, then footings, and then I did an odd. And then we were on a site where they didn't have soldiers over the top on the top lift, so I hadn't done soldiers over lintels like this for ages. So I was just. I always use this method. I got taught about using the lap method years and years ago by an old brickie that taught me, and it's still effective today. Nice bit of lap. I'm using an F-clamp through the perp joint. I don't think we ever used to do this. We just used to do it over the top brick, but an F-clamp through the perp joint, and then on your first, you know, soldier you put on, just knock the back off, give that space for that F-clamp. Obviously if you've got T-clamps or any BT stuff, you know, they're a bit more accustomed to this sort of stuff, so you know, you probably won't have to chisel the back of your brick off as much, but it's always good to do. I don't know where I saw someone doing this. I think I saw a video quite many months ago with Charlie using a similar thing with T-clamps. I'm sure I saw him use 2 sets of profiles on these, but I just use a wooden lat because my profiles aren't long enough. I just find that these soap bricks that we're using, I did a full day squaring all these up to, you know, your stop ends before your soldiers, and it's the best thing to do that really, regardless how you're going to go about doing these. It's really best to square everything round, let everything go off for a day, and then, you know, put lats on. It's just a lot easier. I can do soldiers without a lat on, but it's just a lot easier doing them like this. Obviously I'm taking them nice and steady today because I'd had a lot on. We were, obviously, I said last video, it was a busy week for me outside of work, should I say, and that's one thing that I sort of emphasise in a lot of my videos, that's going to take away a lot of your speed, your production, you know what you're going to get done in a day is basically outside of work stresses. You know, if you've got a lot on with holidays, or you know, a lot of birthdays, a lot of family events, or whatever it may be, a lot of, you know, things that are just, you know, more things to think about outside of work, that's what's going to affect your speed 100%. And this is why I emphasize a lot of the time you're just not going to be able to put 110% in every day. You might be working at 60% some days, and it's just the way it is, and it's making little improvements to where it's sort of when you are working at 50 to 60% of your actual what you could get done, you're still getting done. You know, you've sped up, or you've become efficient to where, or you've made your life easy in a sense, whatever you want to call it, to where, you know, even if you are working at 50 at 60% capacity, you know, you're still getting 100% done. You know, that you're making up that percentage of in time saving tips and you know, little efficiency techniques, so where you don't have to put 110% in every day and still get, you know, a big wedge done, you know what I mean, at work. You know, still get 700-800 bricks laid. Or I think on the day I laid 800 on that band lift, I had 3 hours sleep, 4 hours sleep. I was knackered. I had loads going on, but still managed to get a super day in with fucking non-ideal conditions. And that's what my goal is with with this channel and stuff like that, is just to sort of give tips for the family man or the busy man with a busy lifestyle outside of work. And because I'd love to have nothing, it'd be great to just go to work, come home, sleep, fucking play on my PlayStation, have no external stresses other than just going to work, and it'd be fantastic. I'd get loads more done, but it's not the most lives we lead, you know what I mean? I've got families, kids, etc., etc. It's more tailors to the worker, because we're working it, and we're working to provide for his families. We're not trained in the world bricklaying. We're to earn money, you know what I mean, to buy things for his families, to pay his mortgages, to pay his bills, to pay his council tax. That's what we're doing it for. And I think it's a bit undersold sort of in this YouTube space, where people have sort of, when they're doing these videos, they lose the fact that a lot of people are just trying to earn a living. Do you know what I mean? So that's why I emphasize this, this sort of, I emphasize it in my videos anyway. So as you can see, the F clamp does have like a little knot on the end, and if you've done a snapper for your header, like I have done on a few of my stop ends up my soldiers, basically F-clamp don't always want to go on as nice, but as you can see, it leaves about a 10mm gap as it is, so you don't really have to knock the back of the soldier off if you're using like an engineering. You just have to have a little bit of a 12mm perp on your first soldier. But if you're using like a frog brick like I was, this was like a soft frog brick, you can easily chip a little all off the back of the frog. If you're using these straight up weep holes, like they like take up like half your joint, I don't really like them. They always look a bit crooked and a bit awkward, and I don't really like the look of them. I prefer like the traditional style little hole weep hole, but it is what it is. As well, when it came to basically finding my head heights and stuff like that, I watched a recent video. I've watched a few videos with Charlie Collison using a laser level. I don't do that. All I do is I go around, check which frame measures highest from the brickwork. I just go to that one. Obviously, it's not as accurate as using a laser level. I'll probably never use a laser level to do anything like this. I'll never use a laser level to put a wall plate on. Most I'd use a laser level to is do footings, but I don't think it's that much of a big deal. It's each to their own, obviously, and a lot of firms have different standards, but all the firms I've worked for, it's didn't required, so I don't think I'd ever do it. But that's an easy way. Just find which former is on your corners, preferably. Just check your formers on each 4 corners. Just check what they're sort of, how high they are to gauge, or and just check and just meet your brickwork to that within 10mm. Try get either try meet 5mm above that, or 3 or 4mm above that. And normally when you put a couple of mil bed under your lintel, if you need to, I like to dry bed my lintels on little inside tip. You don't really want any bed under it, but if you're a couple of mil above your former all the way around, perfect. You don't need to be to the millimeter. You don't want to have to sweat and stress about those things. That's one thing I did too much as a newcomer. I sweated about some of the small insignificant shit. So as long as you're a couple of mil above your formers, you don't want to be below them, obviously, and then you've got a big problem. But as long as you're up to your former to gauge, or a couple of mil above, that's all right. And that's basically what happened on my plot. I just took my brickwork to a couple of course higher than former. So a couple of millimeter higher than former, my brickwork, and then all the way around, it more or less worked out that way. Some, it was a couple of mil under, just only a mil or so, but that we could make up with a little bed. So that's an ideal way to do it. And when you're doing your top 3 course, to make sure your soldier sits to the line alright, just pick up 5 or 10mm over 3 course, depending on how big your bricks are. Some bricks you'll easily pick 10mm in 3 course, some bricks you'll only pick 5. and I just picked about 5mm up with these soapers. And you don't need much bed under your lintel. A little front tip on the front flange is easily enough. And as you can see, well, you haven't seen yet, but this is the final course. So there's no brickwork above this. You don't put a course above on this house type. There is houses on here where we do put a course over the soldiers, but on here it's just the soldiers. And then, you know, your wall plate sits, you know, 80mm above the 85mm. I think these are thicker wall plates. They sit above your brickwork on your gable side. So yeah, that's that. There's nothing. The fascia and soffit cut off like half your soldiers anyway. So it's a bit of a shame, but it's half this work ain't going to be seen. And but yeah, so you ain't got to really be the neatest, because all the way at the top, as long as half of your soldiers look plumb, you're all right. But I'll have a look at when the house is finished, what it looks like. But yeah, when it comes to damps, you know, firms have their own little preference. I've always heard that, you know, firms want you at least 100mm past your lintel with your damp, or 150. A lot of the time you just got to work it to what works bricks. Obviously a lot of mine worked 2 bricks past the lintel. That was because obviously the lintel sort of spanned over a brick, so they want to do like a brick past with the damp. They don't want continuous damps ever. I've heard that a lot of times, so I'd never really do it. I always do my turn-ups in between each lintel. On the small lintels, I just went, you know, a couple of, 20-30mm past the lintel with damp, because, you know, sometimes, especially on the small lintels, if you've got to turn up into an expansion, you can't do it. So I sometimes just turn up a bit closer. You know, I've got an HBC inspection on this on the Tuesday, so I've got to give it a little tap and rattle on Monday. I might do a video going over what they want for an HBC on this site. I know it does change. Every site has their own preference of what they want, you know, whether they're going for awards or what, you know. Preferably you want to stay off sites that are going for awards, so you're probably not going to make much money. But, you know, it's what it is. So I don't know with this site. I don't know, you know, everyone seems pretty chill. I think there's 2 site assistants running it. I don't think they're both managed. I don't think any of them are really managers. I think they're both, there's a couple of assistants, and it just seems a more relaxed site. It seems chilled out. So, you know, that could change if they get a new manager in and starts being a ball ache. Then, you know, I've been known to just move if the managers are arseholes. It's best to just move sites. You know, there's no point fighting it. If the site is being run a certain way, it just isn't worth working on sometimes. But this site seems good at the moment. I can't fault it at the moment. The guys who are running it seem absolutely sound. You know, I just think it seems all right. You know what I mean? Our vibes. I've worked on fucking 100 building sites probably. I don't know how many I've worked on, for at least fucking 50. Maybe, you know, 20, 30, maybe 25, 30 different sites in my time. I don't know. It feels like 100, but it's probably not. It's like 25 different sites, maybe 30 sites probably tops in my time, if I counted them all up. And I just get, you know, you get a good vibe and a bad vibe with sites. You know, how they're running, how it seems, you know, if you're making money, etc. And you've just got to look at the pros and cons. You know, some sites I've made really good money on, but it's been an absolute cunt to work on that site. You know, the manager's an arsehole. I don't like anyone. You know, there's bad vibes. You know what I mean? So that's all I can describe it as, good vibes. So it seems pretty sound on this site so far. So I'll let you know how it goes after this NHBC, or what they're wanting, because, you know, normally I just rattle the tie wires. Trays are more or less clean. Obviously my upstairs ones are. I just give them a little scrape with a lat till there's very few crumbs in it. Basically every tie it's a little tap with a little tiler's lat. Takes about an hour to do that, you know, if that, probably about an hour to tap every tie. And then probably, you know, and clean every tray, an hour or two. Maybe tops, if you've got to maybe flush the top blocks in, flush the top of your bricks and your blocks in, and then make sure the back of your top blocks flushed up. They want it pointing, but this trad deck, the day which I was doing this, not today, but the day which I was recording this, when I did the block work on the inside for the last course, the trad deck didn't have any feet under the corner of the trad deck, so I couldn't stand at the edge to joint the back. I did it with my hop up, so I jumped to hop over and do it from the brickwork side. So I just flushed everything up. I'll probably have to flush some joints up, and I've got a wall plate to bed on. I ran out of gobbo. They gave me the wall plate, but I ran out of gobbo. So I've got that to do, which is a bit of an extra, I suppose. So I've got that to do on Monday. I've got a couple hours doing just checking my ties, etc. And then that's it. This lift took about 3.5 days, which I thought is pretty good for this first, third, fourth lift on this job. Me basically having no experience building these previous, so I had to always check everything. So yeah, it was pretty easy really. Just soldiers over all the lintels, you can't go wrong. You know, blockwork same amount as brickwork all the way around. 2 pans to put on, 2 strips of wall plate to put on. You know, dead easy. But yeah, so I might go through a checklist of what they want. I'll show you guys on YouTube what they want on this site, for instance. You know, it's pretty normal stuff. It's not mega strict, to be honest. I was pretty happy when I saw the list. And I'm going to go through a video. I've got the trays to clean out on the bottom. I said I'd do it if it pays day work, so I'll do that. So I'll show you how I clean radon trays or bottom trays around a house that haven't been cleaned. These haven't been cleaned for the full lift, so the solid, I've got SEN in the cavities, but I'll show you how I get that SEN out, and I get all the snots out of the cavities and put in the briquettes around the reveals that have been left out. So, you know, it'll probably take me, I'm thinking it's going to take me half a day to do that. I think, you know, I've got a couple hours bedding the wall plate on and tapping my ties, obviously, which is my job, which is, you know, flushing up the work I've done. And then, you know, I think I've got half a day doing that. I might get a few hours on the other fourth lift that should be loaded out by then. If whoever's coming with me on that day, whoever's working with me that day, should be loading out. I'll be doing all this. I don't see the point of 2 men tapping a cavity and getting a cavity ready for a house ready for inspection. I just don't see the point. I'd rather do it because, you know, I get bricklayer's rate doing it, so I don't want to pay a labourer to it and probably get it done wrong, or an improver doing it and not do it right, and I get pulled. So, you know, I'm expecting to get pulled, but not that many. So, you know, because obviously I'm taking over work that isn't all mine, so whatever is below that sill, you know, is out my hands. So it's one of them. So I might make a video of me doing that. Oh shit, I've just kicked my coffee over. Bollocks. It's no worries. So yeah, also with soldiers, the reason obviously I've got the lat at the bottom of these, obviously it stops them falling forward, and you don't have to put 2 lines on. Obviously that gives you your flush point, you know, gives it, obviously makes sure all your soldiers are plumb. Obviously I plumb my soldiers, obviously, you know, face ways. I do that, you know, not face ways, like, you know, joint wise, so make sure my joints are plumb. I do it every like 4 to 6 bricks really. You know, I can kind of see plumb. You know, you get experience to where you can sort of tell it's running straight, and then you just check it every so often. Obviously with me, this was my first run of soldiers I've done in fucking, ever since I did that little short video where I did some of that lintel on day work. So, you know, probably close to, since I did soldiers properly and I wasn't just messing about, you know, doing them on price for the first time in years doing them, because I've just avoided housing, you know. That's a big reason why I just want to talk about another topic. You know, I've talked about, you know, an HPC, fucking inspections. I talked about, you know, obviously busy lives outside of work. Oh yeah, by the way, before I carry on, this is just how I get the F-comp out. I was messing about a bit on this first one because obviously this is my first one, so I was just messing about. I got a bit quicker after this, but you know, you just slide it out the joint, you know, loosen the F-clamp at both sides, drop the wood, leave the wood off, and then you'll see me here do this. Look, just slide it out the joint. I was being a bit gingerly here because I thought maybe it was going to pull the brick off, but it didn't. But no, as long as you leave, a good 10mm joint and then just drop the wood first. I was holding onto the wood. I normally just loosen both F-clamps and drop the wood. So anyway, you guys get the idea. But yeah, sorry, I just wanted to talk about, when you first sort of go on your own, and something that isn't emphasized on YouTube enough. I've been watching some podcasts, some Bricklaying Social Club stuff, and I watched a little bit. I think they did a video with Charlie Cloyson. That's the latest one, but I've been following him on Instagram for ages, and I knew they did some podcasts, so I was looking into it. I was quite interested, and they talked about if you fast on the trowel, if you're young, and that if they've had improvers with them and they don't want to give them bricklayers money because they're just not experienced enough, they haven't done the years, and that is a lot of the time the case. Obviously, if you've got an improver working for you and they are fast and you just pay them a day rate, you don't want to give them the opportunity to go on price on a split or anything, because you probably won't be making anywhere near the amount of money off them that you are when you just pay them a set rate, because when you go on split, obviously everything directly affects your money because it's split. So anyway, bar that point, is the biggest thing I can recommend for improvers or young guys out of the time, and they might have done 3 years on the trowel on doing an apprenticeship, and then they've got a gold card and they're out of the time technically, but they're still sort of improver status, is just move far away from the site you're working at. So if you're working with a gang, you might be on a good site, but you just got to move and go elsewhere. You're going to move and go elsewhere. You've got to sort of work for someone else as well, because you'll always be seen as an apprentice in the eyes of the people you've been working with from when you first stepped on the trowel to even at the stage right now. It doesn't matter how good you are, how fast you are, how much you know your stuff. You've got to just move. It's the biggest tip I'd give anyone, and it's the hardest tip because you're just going out on your own effectively, and you'll have to do some trial and error working for different firms that maybe you don't get good work on. You might be working for a firm and just give you shit. Like, I worked for a subby out of my time on my own. I worked with a couple of apprentices, a couple of labourers, and I didn't get consistent work. I were on sites where the manager had known me from an apprentice, so I just didn't get treat right, so I had to move from there, and then I went on my own working at different firms, and this obviously when the prices were a lot worse than they are now. Well, they were half of what they are now, about 400 a thousand they were when I was on my own, and or 340 I think I was getting at one point, 380 I think. So that was on a keep mount job, but the prices weren't as good, and I was on my own with a labourer when I first sort of went fully on my own, and I struggled really. And I was unsure that it was the right path, because I was earning about the same I was on day rate working with the gang as 5-6 years into bricklaying. I was just out my time a year, and I was earning about the same on my own as I was working with them, and I had to do all the thinking. It was quite stressful. I was doubting myself, and luckily I didn't go back into working in a gang. I did a couple of days helping gangs out here and there, but I never really committed to working in a gang. I never went on a day work rate again really for any firms. In a gang I went completely on my own, so set my own hourly rate, I set my own, I did my own plots on price, did my own walls, etc. And then I ended up, I jumped around a load of firms. I got really pissed off with bricklaying. I got really disenfranchised. I thought, this isn't what I want to do, because I didn't really have enough experience to sort of, I had the experience, but I couldn't see my way through it on my own. I always thought I need someone to ask questions, and then I just got to the point where I started asking questions to everyone, managers, other brickies, and I just sort of went through a stage about 4 years ago of just really just getting by, really. You know, I wasn't really earning much more than I was as an improver a lot of the time. But then I sort of started watching YouTube a little bit. I started watching other bricklayers. I started learning my own little ways, because it was about 4 years ago, there wasn't really anything on YouTube. So I was sort of trying to find and learn my own methods that worked well for me. And then, you know, I started making more than on day work as an improver. And then I started earning a bricklayer's wage every day, you know. And then, you know, it slowly built up over time, to where I was earning double a bricklayer's day wage, you know. And on some days, you know, it's still, obviously you still see the days, still see what stops you every day on site, and you've got to sort of realize that, you know, if you are someone just out your time, it is a slow process, you know, starting to earn the big money. Don't matter even if you're fast. I was fast as an apprentice, and still when I went on my own, all that speed was took up by doubt, stress, just uncertainty of what work I was doing. You know, it's a big step going on your own, and it does knock your confidence, because the first time someone pulls you and says something and tells you something that you didn't realize, it's going to throw you back a little bit. But as time goes on, you'll sort of know what firms are wanting. You'll sort of know the crack, in a sense. You'll know what to look for, what not to, and it just takes years, really. It just takes years of experience. But the one thing I wish I'd have done differently, is I wish I'd have moved more than I did. I moved more when I was about 20, 21, and then I sort of stuck at a firm. I stuck at the same firm for about 3 years. And I wish I'd have moved more in between that. I'd have probably been a little bit more, you know, I don't know, I wouldn't say I'd had more experience, because I did a lot of things. I did a lot of different type of builds, but I think I'd have got a bigger insight quicker. So it wouldn't have took me till I was 26 to learn what I've known now. Probably I could have known it a bit by like 24. I know it's you know, it's apples and oranges there. It's no big deal, but I do recommend for any newcomers, you know, learn what you can and try and work in small gangs. You know, working in big gangs is no good. You're not going to earn money in big gangs. Don't matter if you're the fastest bricklayer on the earth, you're not going to earn money. You know, working a 2-on-1, you know, you being either an improver of that 1-on-1, or, you know, work with just one other bricklayer, so you do a bit of labouring, you get on the trowel. You know, you'll see a bit more how the job is put together if you're doing the labouring, because you have to learn how to load out and how to organise before you can start really earning good money. And that is really helpful when you're working with just one bricklayer. So that's sort of the thing that I'm sort of trying to, you know, sort of instill in these lads who are working with me. Some of the lads will be older than me, some will be younger. But, you know, I'm trying to instill the fact that you're learning how the job's put together working with me as well. You know, I'm only paying you a set wage at the moment. You're only getting a set day rate. It's, you know, you might be able to earn more in a couple of years, but you're learning stuff now that's going to allow you to earn big money in a few years' time. You know, you're learning step by step how we go about the job, and that's the biggest thing, is step by step the methods we use, step by step the process that goes into finishing each lift. You know, things that we look for, things that we don't stress about. You know, that's a big thing that I'm encouraging the lads who work with me at the moment. I say to them, you're in an ideal situation, we're in a small gang, there's always going to be work, there's no arguing, you know, we're chilled out. As you can see by the videos, I don't rush. I'm a bit of a slower, you know, compared to, you know, your Charlie Collistons, your Kurt Malpasses, your speed trials on YouTube. I'm pretty slow comparison to those guys. I take a bit more time over my work. I'm a little bit slower. I'm just not fast. I'm just not as fast. And you know, I can be fast at times, don't get me wrong, but you know, I've got, you know, I'm at the point now where I don't have the energy to go fast all the time, so that'll lead me into my next topic. But yeah, that's sort of what I recommend to young lads is, you know, try work with a small gang, try see your way through the build, so when you do go on your own, you've got something to rely on, something to work from, and then, you know, keep those avenues open. Allow, you know, I've always said to people, if you're going on your own or you've got any issues, I've told told apprentices before, you know, you've got any you know, any questions, just ring me, just give us a ring, and I'll, you know, if you've got something that you're just not sure of, just give us a ring, you know, and I'll talk you through it over the phone for 5 minutes. But it's one thing that, this is what I'd recommend, you know, if you're an improver or you just start your time, work with a small gang, work with one bricklayer ideally, and then just work from there. And, you know, you might be on 120 a day, 100 a day to start with, even when you're out your time as a bricklayer. But if you're not, you know, earning that money on the trowel yourself, or if you're not competent enough to, you know, to do things without making mistakes, which is a lot of the case, you know, with this COVID, people haven't had the experience they should have with all the lockdowns and stuff. So new lads getting into it, you know, you've just got to take what you can get at the start and just learn. And then when you do finally say, right, I've got a friend who's going to labour on me, I'm going on my own, then you can get into the point where you can start earning some money, really. Earning, you know, but when I say earning some money, you'll not be earning much more to begin with, but you'll slowly, over years past, just earn more and more and more. And it's just a slow process, but it's the biggest reason there is a shortage of bricklayers, because there's no quick way to do it. Even myself, you'll see my videos on YouTube now, and you won't believe it, but I was shit at laying bricks when I first started. I wasn't natural at it. You know, some guys say, you know, I've had a comment saying, oh, you look natural doing this, natural doing that. I was never natural at any of it. I was really shit. I like to show you some of my first, if I had some video of my first brickwork, you'd laugh, and you'd laugh how awkward I look with a trowel in my hand. But it took years and years to get that natural, that quote unquote natural look to my way I work. It just takes years. So it takes years of being, you know, aware that you need to improve. So it's just one of those. I was never really that quick at the start, and it's took me years to even get the speed I am now. So it's one of them. It just takes time. So anyway, a little bit of an another topic today. So we've talked about advice for improvers. I've talked about advice for NHBC inspections, fourth lift advice. So what else could I put in the title now? As you guys know, I'm quite big, I'm like 19, 20 stone. I'm not the smallest of guys, but I don't know if I've mentioned before, I've been powerlifting for like 10 years, and I've been various weights, and I've been into fitness for a lot of years, whether that's bodybuilding or powerlifting, like it has been for most of the time. And I'm thinking of starting running again. I did a little stint of MMA training and jiu-jitsu. I did that about a year and a half ago, and I was about 100 kilo. I did a lot of running then. I was a lot fitter, and I'm thinking I want to get back to doing that. Mainly just so I'm not knackered at work. That's the main thing I'm doing it for. But I'm a big fan of park run. If any guys have done park run before, I did that. I got told about it when I was doing about 5 years ago, 4 years ago. I was thinking about going into the army. I did some army training, and they recommended park run for me because I was about 100 kilo then, and I was still considered fat, even though I had abs. I just had too much muscle, and I did running to get to like 90 kilo. I ended up dropping out, but that was sort of the weight I needed to reach. I needed to reach 88 kilo. So I did a lot of park run then, and I got to like a 25-minute park run, or 24-minute, I think is my best park run, I think. I'll have to check my stats, but that's basically, I think it's a 5k park run. So I'm going to start doing park run again with my mate every Saturday. So I probably won't be working as many Saturdays as I like, but because I did say I was going to try and work every Saturday up until Christmas, just because of the weather and stuff. But I'm going to do park run instead. I'm going to run 3 times a week, I think. And if I get back to 100 kilo and I feel fit again, I might end up doing some MMA training again, because I like my striking. You know, I always felt more natural striking because I've got long arms. But you know, I like the training. I don't have any interest in ever fighting, but I enjoyed watching the sport. I enjoyed training it, so that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to start running today. It's Sunday. I'm going to hang my shorts up on the drying rack, and then I'm going to still got my running shoes. I've got carry more running shoes, so they're still in good nick, so I'm going to just go running again. I've got a running app. I'm going to post my running times on YouTube as YouTube posts. You know, after Fat Bricky becomes Fit Bricky or something. After 8 fat fuck. I don't know what I'll call it, but I was going to do a bit of a fitness journey through my YouTube, but I don't really want to. I was going to GoPro my run, but then you know where I live, so I didn't want to do it. I didn't want to like run around where I live because it's rough as fuck. So anyway, guys, that's sort of my idea. So anyway, that's it. So that's basically the video. So hope you guys enjoyed. You know, a little insight on how to do soldiers, talking about how to sort of progressing your career from improver, talking about an HPC inspections, etc. A few different topics today. Obviously, standard bricklaying vlog affair for my channel. But yeah, so if you enjoyed this sort of video, again, just give me a like, comment, subscribe. Watch my ads. Any questions you've got, just leave us a comment. I try to get back to everyone, and I do get back to everyone really. I don't get that many comments. I get like fucking 5 a day, if that. Maybe 1 a day sometimes if I don't upload. So, all the support's appreciated. It's it's somewhat of it's a little bit of a hobby that is turned into an extension of my work almost now. I don't really see YouTube as work because I enjoy yabbering on. It's a form of therapy for me, but it's something that it gives me something else to my work day that doesn't feel like work. If I think I'm recording something for a day, I'm having a little bit of a hobby day at work. So anyway, guys, thanks for watching, and it's Sunday. Hope you guys have had a good weekend, and I'll see you in a couple of days with another video. I've got a bit more footage from this lift, so I might do a video of me doing some pick and dip and talk about some other stuff. Alright guys, see you later.